Okay, so part 2 for compositions is using equations. There are 2 methods for this. There's option A and option B. We're going to model both, okay? Option A for using equations is evaluate the inner function first. So you're going to find one number and then take that value and plug it into the second equation, okay? Option B is to write the function as a function, a whole function notation. So to plug a function into a function. Do you guys remember on our Kahoot when you had the problem where I said this is the non-calculator? Y'all remember that one where you had to plug in 2A? Okay, that's what option B leads into. Okay, plugging in numbers and variables together. All right, so we're going to model both and then you can decide how you want to do your exit ticket. So we're going to walk through a completed one. So we're going to walk through a completed one, and this is modeling option A. Okay, so the completed one is modeling option A. All right. So the first thing it says, you have the function G, you have the composition G composed of f of 2. Given the inner function, okay, f of x equals 3x minus 5, and the outer function is x squared plus 2. So we start from the inside, which says x equals 2. Do we see that? So we know that x equals 2, and it says you're going to plug x equals 2 into f. So f of x, wherever there's an x, we replaced it with a 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 5 is 1. So that's our first output. Now we're going to take that 1 and plug it into g of x. So everywhere there's an x in g of x, it now becomes a 1. So x becomes a 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. So our final output is 3. Yes? All right. Not that bad. Here we go. So here's our turn. So we have G composed of f of 5. Starting from the inner, we have x equals 5, and we're going to plug it into f. So we have x equals 5, and we're plugging it into f. So where x is, it now becomes a 5. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 minus 5 is 10. So our first output is 10. Now we're going to plug 10 into g of x. So what we got from f, we're plugging into g. So we're going to plug it in, and that's going to give us 10 squared, which is 100 plus 2 is. So our final output is 102. Yeah? Okay? Yes? All right, we're going to do it without the trail, the mapping, okay? Both option A. We're still modeling option A. Okay, so we're still modeling option A. All right, this is written in composition form. When written in composition form, think about it, you're distributing the other way. So our x is -3, and it's going to go into f. What we get from f is going to go into g. Does that make sense? All right, so we have f of -3. This is our step 1. So we're finding f of -3. So where x is, we're replacing it with a -3. That gives us -3 minus 5. If you owe me $3 and I'll let you borrow another 5, how much do you owe me? 8, and that's a negative thing to owe me money. So now you owe me $8. Okay? Step 2 is you're going to then continue plugging in. So what we got from F, we're going to plug into G. So for G, we're plugging in -8. And like we practiced yesterday, a negative times a negative is a. And so our final answer is 64. Yay? Easy? Do y'all see why we were practicing plugging things in on our Kahoot?
Yes.
Yeah. It wasn't just to play a game, it was to get those skills together, okay? All right. Okay. Are y'all ready to do it on your own?
Yeah.
All right, so on this one, you're going to practice option A. No, it's not.
Versus G.
It's not the same. Ooh, yeah. Uh-huh. Good. Check with your group. As you finish, see if your answer is the same as the people in your group or a nearby group.
I haven't. God. Damn.
What way? What is Yeah, Oh, I thought I was having a seizure. It's like, why was it so slow? It's like came in later. I was like, that's the way. All right, are we ready? Okay, so again, we're going the other way, right? So F composed of G at -3. So we're going to take the -3 and we're plugging it into G. So we have -3 squared, which gave us what? 9. Then we take that answer and we plug it into F. So we have F of 9 equals 9 minus 5, which is 4. How do we feel about this? Amazing. Will your equations grow? Could it be x squared plus something else? Yes, that's fine. All we understand, as long as we understand, it's just plugging in, right? It's just plugging in, just plugging in. And I believe in you, okay? All right. All right. Now, we're going to model option B, okay? Reason why we're going to model option B here is instead of you having to plug in two different numbers twice each or whatever, we're going to show option B. Option B is where you create a whole new equation before you start, okay? So we're going to do option B. All right, stick with it. Don't hate on option B yet. So it says here, we're finding F composed of G at two different points, right? So we're going to figure out what is F composed of G. So when it says to create a new equation, we're finding F composed of G at any point. That's what we're trying to find. F composed of G at any point. Because X can be anything, right? Okay, so that means what does G of X equal? Well, what does G of X equal? 2x plus 3. So we're actually looking for F of 2x plus 3. So you remember when you guys had F of 2a? And I said this is the non-calculator part? That's because all you're doing is plugging in and simplifying. Same thing goes here. So we're plugging in. Everywhere there's an x, it's now going to become 2x plus 3. Does that make sense? So we end up with 2x plus 3 squared plus 4 times 2x plus 3. This is non-calculator. Okay, where are we having our concerns at?
I was like, where'd you get the 4? I was like, oh, she put in eggs.
I'm plugging in more x's because anytime the function notation says this is what's replacing my x, right? So I had an x squared, so it becomes 2x plus 3 squared. I had a 4x, so it becomes 2x plus 3. At this point in our class, we should be able to simplify this. Okay? Yes? No? Maybe so? Okay? So we're going to go through simplifying this. So in order to simplify this, we're going to, first off, 2x plus 3 squared means that I have 2 of these. Nope. That means we have 2 of them, right? And then 4, I'm going to have to do what? Distribute. 4 times 2x gives us
8x.
Well, how do I clean this up?
Make one negative.
4 times 2x. 4 times 3. How do I clean that up? Distribute. What is the little algorithm method we use to distribute? Foil. We have to foil. Algebra 1.
Well, what do you call it? Foil. We didn't call it foil.
The box, the square. I don't know what you're double distribution.
I mean, we know what we're talking about. They call it-
I don't know. What did y'all call it?
Yeah, we just did it. We didn't call it.
We haven't did anything.
I don't know foil at all.
Okay.
You
Yeah. You were there. All right. So FOIL is just a method for double distribution. It's distribution multiplying two binomials together. You multiply the first two terms together. Yes. Ringing any bells? All right. 2x times 2x is what?
4x.
4x squared.
Oh.
Yes. The O stands for you multiply your outside terms. So 2x times 3. What's 2x times 3? Because x times x is x squared. And that gives us 6x. Yes. Then you do the inside. 3 times 2x's. And then you do your last two terms. 3 times 3. 9. Okay. That's why I said or y'all did the box method. I said or y'all did the box.
Shouting, I didn't hear it.
And so now, can you combine like terms? All we did was multiply, guys. You cannot use a calculator. I told you that. All right. Are there any other 4x squareds?
Oh.
No. So 4x squared is by it.
So
I have 6x, 6x, and 8x. What does that make? That makes 20x. And then I have 9 and 12. What does that make? 21. So my f of g of x equals 4x squared plus 20x plus 21. Okay. The first method is only useful if they give you a value. But if it's just a function plugged into a function, you have to be comfortable with multiplying. You're in free AP Algebra 2. You cannot say this is too much math because this is Algebra 1. What we just did was Algebra 1. Okay. That's all. All right. So f g of 2. So that means now when I'm doing this, I can simply just say, well, this equals where x is, it now becomes a 2. So this is 4 times 2 squared plus 20 times 2 plus 21. You found the equation. Now you're using the equation. At this point, if you need help multiplying and adding, you can. But let's try it out loud. What is 2 squared?
4.
What's 4 times 4? 16. What's 20 times 2?
40.
40. Now we're going to add. What's 16 plus 40?
56.
56. What's 56 plus 21?
77.
77.
Oh my God.
Thank you, elementary.
That's not.
That's elementary. That's 4th and 5th grade. Nice try. Yeah. And you do the same thing for the bottom. All right. So now you guys do 2.5. You may want to use a calculator because it's 2.5.
No, everything easy, guys.
So you have 4 times 2.5 squared plus 20 times 2.5 plus 21.
So instead of 40, wouldn't it be 45? That's 20 times 2.5.
I said you can now use a calculator. You couldn't use a calculator when you were simplifying the equation because of the variables, the x.
Wait. But to create the equation, you have to, why would you do that? Oh, because you have. I know how to do that. I need to like,
Which
Why-
part?
why creating the equation?
Because sometimes they want you to compose two equations and not evaluate them. So you have to be comfortable. If I have to plug something in, can you simplify? Can you use your math knowledge to simplify and create a new function? Mhm.
I feel like in your you kind of work backwards. Like I keep messing up on the exponents. You know, I'm forgetting that it's two of the same.
Yes. It's not times two, it's squared. Yep. Remember, exponents are repeated multiplication, whereas multiplication is repeated addition. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do we get for the last one, guys?
6.
96. Good job.
Yeah, I can make it.
Okay. All right. So you have your exit ticket. On your exit ticket, you have a couple of you have F composed of G and G composed of F. You can use either method. I do not care. If you are an option A, then you do option A person. If you're an option B, then you do option B. Okay. You're gonna complete this, and then you're gonna put your answers in Canvas, and it'll tell you if you're right or wrong. Okay. So don't ask me, am I right or wrong? No, it goes. That's gonna be page 63 of your notebook. Yeah, you can do it again. We're on 63. That'll be 63. You do now on 63. All right. So again, do not ask me if you're right or wrong because you can self-check yourself on Canvas. Got it?